As the world is heading towards a critical juncture, a second wave of infections is kneecapping key economics and forcing government to renew their restrictions. Government's policies response, more than ever, need to include stimulus packages designed for economic recovery. In cooperation with the World Economic Forum, BCG, CCC, along with other engineering and construction industry leaders, we have all developed a framework for developing effective stimulus plans for infrastructure. This presentation and the referenced full report showcase some of these recommendations illustrated by best practice examples in discussion with global industry leaders. Also, these lessons and recommendations are aimed at helping governments define packages for infrastructure that support economic recovery and provide relief from COVID-19 crisis. The ENC, engineering and construction industry, plays an important role in the world economy, societies, and definitely climate. Thus, it has the potential to be a critical contributor in the recovery from this pandemic. It's therefore crucial to define the scope and extent of infrastructure in stimulus packages and to have an open dialogue between the public and private sector. Beyond solving just short-term economic and social priorities, effective infrastructure stimulus packages should also solve or balance with long-term infrastructure challenges that extend beyond the outbreak as part of a wider transformational response, like aligning infrastructure investment with the climate policy and promoting resilience beyond mitigations, and definitely like preparing for a digital future, since we all know technological adoption is likely to continue accelerating in the post-pandemic era. Infrastructure is a powerful vector for social and economic development, as the industry accounts for 6% of the global GDP and workforce. Government investment in infrastructure has an annual multiplier effect of 0.4 to 2.2 times GDP. Infrastructure can also help create at least 10,000 total jobs for every $1 billion invested. With this number in mind, government can support the infrastructure industry not just for the own stake of the industry, but also as a part of a larger pandemic recovery effort. In this context, we are pleased to share a framework for dialogue on potential infrastructure stimulus illustrated by global best practices examples that have emerged from discussions with industry leaders. An effective infrastructure stimulus plan should focus on 4 key objectives. First, creating sustainable high-quality jobs. And here, we need to balance immediate job creation against the need for upskilled, quality workers in the long run. Second, contribute to the climate agenda. We need to make sure that new infrastructure supports the clean energy transition and contribute to net zero carbon targets. Third, we need to enhance long-term resilience. Here, we can deploy future-proof infrastructure, support economic and societal resilience, and sustain competitiveness. Last but not least, we need to embrace new ways of working. We need to leverage the potential of technologies to boost productivity and effectiveness. What we will see next is how we can embed a clear action agenda based on this set of comprehensive global recommendations. As government work to design stimulus packages, they embark on a robust action agenda that will immediately serve the broader pandemic recovery and ensure that infrastructure will thrive in the longer term. As we laid down the 4 main objectives, let me here lay down the 3 main themes of recommendations. First, maintain ongoing works and accelerate shovel-ready and shovel-worthy projects. Second, create a new project pipeline aligned with long-term infrastructure priorities. Third, set up the right enabler to ensure efficient and sustained stimulus implementation. In that context, we're happy to present what we call a framework for dialogue toward an effective infrastructure stimulus. And here we're combining the objectives with the recommendation set along with action detail. From now on, I'm going to detail the actions that are under this recommendation briefly, and I will leave the remaining information to be received from the full report. First, maintaining ongoing works and accelerating shovel-ready and shovel-worthy project. Now the time more than ever is to reassess infrastructure projects in the pipeline. Why? To bring forward deliveries, ensure such projects meet government priorities, and that they are designed for post-pandemic world. As such, governments should act to ensure those projects endangered by a liquidity shortfall and other crisis-related effects are still running, while also evaluating them for long-term criteria. At the same time, shovel-ready projects that could immediately boost the productivity and the economy should be given the green light. And also, we should never forget the shovel-worthy project that help address long-term issues like climate change could also be identified and brought to bear. Another way the industry can boost the economy and create high-quality jobs is by undertaking renovation programs aimed at upgrading building and infrastructure. A strategy that has been proven in the past, which can further help society achieve sustainability and resilience targets, like energy efficient projects, net zero carbon building retrofits are also useful in this regard, as well, of course, as projects that build societal resilience. The second set of recommendation action plan focused on creating a new project pipeline aligned with long-term infrastructure priorities. Knowing that the coronavirus is changing how people work, live, move, etc., it's an opportunity moment to revisit infrastructure development plans and address climate goals. In that context, projects that accelerate new ways of working and support the increased importance of digital technology will be a priority. And of course, climate resilience infrastructure will be more important than ever. All will require government to re-evaluate their infrastructure priorities. We can give example of ambitious stimulus programs like the European Green Deal Investment Plan, which is worth $1 trillion, China Massive Technology Infrastructure Plan, $1.4 trillion, and also government can boost infrastructure construction today by cultivating public-private collaboration initiated by unsolicited proposal. And we all know that this type of proposal are often used during natural disasters to speed up development and typically give firms some freedom to design projects and finding solutions. The third set of recommendation and action plan will lay down on 4 enablers very important. Here we'll be talking about set up the right enablers to ensure efficient and sustained stimulus implementation. We will start with the first enabler. Open a dialogue on immediate relief measures. Here, the industry has had to deal with, as we know, with a steep drop-off in activity volume and productivity. I'm talking here, of course, of the engineering and construction industry, as well as the supply disruption, new costs associated with health and safety measures, all while operating under challenging conditions. And only a few governments have announced infrastructure-specific measures to provide relief from the pandemic. The construction industry needs to receive additional government aid to help it more fairly share the burden of cost and risks associated with COVID-19. And of course, by providing this aid, governments can lift economic activities, create jobs, and stabilize the supply chain. Second enabler would be define faster and simpler infrastructure procurement model. The crisis put procurement to the test, and some governments were up to the task and sped up their procurement method. A range of procurement methods, practices, models, etc. are detailed in the full report. We don't have the time to go through in the presentation now, which is worth looking at, and have shown their mettle in the pandemic. And of course, understanding the risk imbalances in current procurement schemes and backing the definition of new contract standards adapted by today's fast evolving circumstances will be key for a sustained rebound. The pandemic has sensitized the world to how rapidly the situation can change, and procurement contracts should be refashioned to account for this reality. Also, risk sharing and force majeure clauses must be revisited in the contracts. Third enabler would be deploy a new financing model to incentivize private sector involvement. As the pandemic forces investors to shrink their debt load and risk profile infrastructure, at a time where extra resources are already tight, governments need to step in and seek new funding and financing. Green bonds, which can also further climate goals, are also another answer. Another promising source for infrastructure is tie performance to at least one objective of the United Nations Global Climate Action Agenda. Worth mentioning here that multilateral development banks are also moving into this arena and in that direction. Last but not least enabler would be support workforce redeployment to construction from other industries. Because the infrastructure is an industry that can boost employment immediately, if given the right government support, it can be part of the solution for putting people from those sectors hit hardest by the pandemic back to work. At the end, we need to remember that in this challenging time, the world needs leadership and decisive action at every level. Governments should view the current crisis as an opportunity to create advantage in building a better, more competitive, resilient, and sustainable world. To further the development of forward-looking, recovery-boosting infrastructure stimulus, the World Economic Forum and its engineering and construction industry group, which we're proudly part of as CCC, and BCG have set up roundtables in several countries. At these roundtables, the industry group will discuss the role of infrastructure in government-directed stimulus packages supported by proposed objective and an action agenda. With these representatives, of course, with key representatives from the public and private sectors. Thank you very much. Please feel free to contact me on LinkedIn, and definitely do download the full report from BCG website. Thank you.